Christine?
I think I heard Drew just say, "Are we on the Instagram?" I was like,
I did hear Rod Hill in my ear a moment ago, but I think that is gone. We are doing the Sunrise Extra program from the comforts of our newsroom this morning.
Better out here after standing for 2.5 hours.
It is nice, isn't it? It's called the Coffee Bar. Oh, hello, Facebook.
I'm actually logging in right now to our little Facebook stream.
Oh my goodness, I'm
you know, the internet here in the newsroom is not cooperating with me, so I'm like trying to get the Facebook page to reload.
I thought it was
I just turned off Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's coming. There we are.
There it is.
So maybe we can see the comments too. Okay, so welcome on Facebook, welcome on Instagram. Nina is off today and tomorrow. Christine filling in admirably for her this morning.
Hola.
Even helping us here on the extra program. So there's a couple of things we can talk about today. One of them, a story we covered in the news, the transgender Lyft driver who says she was attacked by one of her riders last Friday in downtown Portland. She says she kind of knew when the man got into the car that he was drunk. And if you're watching on Facebook right now, you can see some of the video from the story. But anyways, she knew the man was drunk. He became frustrated during the ride, something about maybe the directions. He punched in some directions to where he wanted to go.
Okay.
They weren't basically what he thought were the correct directions. He was getting frustrated, and then he started taking out that frustration on the driver, saying things in regards to her being a transgender person. And she told him politely to knock it off, that she didn't like it. He got violent. She says that he started punching her in the head and the neck. So she gets out of the car, so does he. She pepper sprays him, he runs away. The police haven't found the guy, but they are investigating still. She says she'll never drive for Lyft again, and she feels like they're not doing enough in this particular case to help her. Lyft says they are. They said they're cooperating with the authorities as well, and they say they've reached out to Marla, is the woman's name, and have tried to help her through this situation. So that's the background on the story, but what we're asking today is, do you all feel safe when you get into one of these rideshare vehicles, whether it's Uber, whether it's Lyft? Because I have two women sitting with me here who have different opinions on this. You've got no problem with it whatsoever. You say that you are a little concerned when you get into those cars.
I still use Uber and Lyft, but I mean, the paranoid side of me still kind of thinks about, wasn't there a murder like in Arizona or something, a college student?
The girl,
It was and I know it was South Carolina. Was it South Carolina? It was somewhere else, but she had gotten into the wrong, I think, Uber.
Was it an Uber at all? Now I don't remember the specific details.
I know, I thought.
It was Uber or Lyft?
Yeah, it was one of the rideshare programs, but you know, things like that come to mind. But obviously, I have not had a bad experience, and I've used Uber a number of times. But I still think I usually screenshot, you know, my ride basically, and then send it to my boyfriend or a good friend.
No, that's good. And I mean, in a way, I feel like the Lyft and Uber drivers have the bigger risk because they're coming in contact with so many people in all kinds of states. Every once in a while, I'll get into a Lyft, or I never Uber. I only do Lyft. But my daughter does not drive, and so she will take Lyfts. She's 21.
Okay.
I do think about that, you know, with a young woman, but I feel like she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she is not just, especially what you mentioned, like the terrible crimes that have happened that we've, you know, reported on. I think she's aware of that, and so is careful.
I think if you just make sure that the Uber or Lyft you get into, it matches the car description. I make sure that it's the right, you know, license number, and like the person looks like the same person. But you know, also Uber has come out with safety measures. Lyft will be coming out with a similar safety measure. Uber, apparently, if the car stops in a weird place where you're not supposed to be stopping, it'll send you like a notification. It'll ask the passenger and the driver if they're okay, and you can check in that way. And then apparently Lyft is going to be coming up with rolling out a similar system pretty soon. So trying to address it.
This works best when our viewers jump in on the conversation. So new addition today. I am obviously not holding the selfie stick like Nina normally does on the extra program. I have producer Jessica holding the phone for us today, and Jessica's wearing the microphone. Say good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
So if you have a comment on Instagram, Jess will see it and she'll share it with us. We're all following the Facebook feed as well, and I see some of our regular viewers of the extra program on here with us. Good morning, Pamela. Good morning, Terrell. Good morning, Lisa Walsh. And so basically, we want to hear your stories, good or bad. ahead. Share some of your experiences with Uber, with Lyft, why you feel comfortable taking those ride shares, why you never will again, perhaps. And if you're a driver, we'd love to hear your perspective as well.
So Terrell is just weighing in. She said, I just recently started taking Uber, was so nervous at first, but one of the drivers told me you can be I just put that you can be tracked or something.
And if you're in danger, there is something you can push on the app where police will come. So the driver assured her you're going to be okay.
Here, did you see the one right after this? Right. Ramona says, I drive Uber and I've been in a couple uncomfortable situations. I try not to drive at night, but really doesn't matter the time of day now. I'm glad she's okay.
So what are you going to do, Ramona? Are you going to continue to drive for Uber, or are you thinking, because you're making it sound like it doesn't matter to you anymore whether it's night or day, there is that possibility of putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And it is, to me, different than taxis, because Rod's joining the conversation. Chris was asking us earlier, McGinnis, what's the difference between Uber, Lyft, and a taxi ride? Now, so number one is this. I don't recall ever getting into the front seat of a taxi. But for some reason, and maybe I'm the weird one, when a Lyft or Uber comes to my house and I'm the only one getting in.
Always get in the back. I've never
I always get in the front.
I never tried shotgun with the Lyft. They're like, get out of my seat.
They don't tell me to get out either.
No, why would they? But no, always. I mean, I treat
why are you
like
up
a
here?
Taxi. I get in the back. We always get in the back.
I don't know why I'm getting in the front seat of the Uber. I apologize if that's weird. I didn't even think
You're probably
twice about it.
scaring the drivers.
I thought it was weird to get in the back. Like I thought they thought that I thought they were scary, so I was trying to be away from them. I'm trying to let you know, hey, I think you're pretty cool.
Wow.
I'm going to sit next to you up here.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, it seems like Jeff in Oregon agrees kind of on Brenda's point. He said, I'd be more afraid to be a driver than a rider.
Right?
Drivers are screened, riders are not.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look at this.
I totally apologize. I never know how to say your name. Samso Fiashan? I'm not sure, but I know we talk on Instagram. She says, I do the same thing, Christine. I screenshot the driver and car details and send to a family member my trip status. I mean, that's just a precaution I do. And I mean, it's an easy thing, boom, send it off, and then you just feel a little bit better.
I think it's 3 names, Sam, Sophia, Sean.
Sam, you're probably right. Yeah, our producer holding the Instagram phone.
You made it so easy. It's probably correct.
Thanks, Jess.
Can I share real quickly? Susan Decker comments on our Facebook feed. Good morning, Susan Decker. She says she drives Lyft. She prefers people right up front.
Oh, interesting, because Lori says the opposite. I drive Uber, prefer the riders in the back. That's
Interesting.
Maybe we should start asking.
But Susan does said you should ask the driver. What do they prefer?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then, I guess Cheryl, she just weighed in on our Facebook feed, took Uber for the first time while in Nashville. Driver gave us the pointers, of making sure we wait for them to ask our name, confirm his name, match car and license.
You know, I will say, not only have I not had a bad Uber or Lyft experience, like normally they're wonderful. Like the people, I get out of the car going, man, that was another nice person.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've probably taken 60 Lyft or Uber rides over the course of time.
Director Brian says ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto, yep.
Like, and I'm usually tipping pretty well. At least I think they're pretty decent tips. So I'm like, man, another person just knocked one out of the park. That was a great ride, good conversation. They got us there in a timely manner. I've actually fallen asleep one time in a.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's how comfortable I was in that car.
Oh, wow.
And it had anything to do with a night out partying. Like I was literally just beat tired from this shift.
Yeah.
And took a ride home from downtown with an Uber and was.
It's like, sir, get out of my car.
Yeah. Sir, you're home.
I only had one weird thing happen with a Lyft driver, actually. We were flying into PDX and it was late. It was like, 1:30 in the morning. And his whatever nav wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I can't take you. We're mid-ride, by the way, when it goes out. He's like, I can't take you because I'm not going to be able to be paid. I can't track it.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, I have it on my phone. Like, I can tell you how much it said it would cost and where we're going. I mean, I will give you the cash. I've got the money. And he's like, no, I can't. He got really flustered.
Wow.
And he wanted to drop us off at some rando 7-Eleven.
What?
Like at 1:30 at night. I'm like, oh no, you are taking me back to the terminal because I'm not getting out.
Right.
That's
a good
BFE.
idea.
No.
I like the choice you gave. It's like, hey, either continue on to where we're going to tell you we're going,
or
take
go
us back
all
to
the
where
way
we
back.
started. But not here.
That's the only weird thing that's ever happened, and that wasn't even that bad.
Right.
So,
I mean, it looks like the greater
experiences with
scheme of things, a lot of people are just saying that they've had decent, experiences with Uber and Lyft.
Terrell Davis says she always asks the drivers which they prefer. Back to our conversation of, are you a front seat Uber or Lyft rider or a back seat Uber or Lyft rider? It really is an interesting conversation, but it is you do feel like you're putting your life in someone else's hands, right? Not only am I hoping that they're a good driver, but I'm hoping they're not an axe murderer, honestly.
Yeah, and Brenda, before you actually started using Lyft and stuff, you kind of thought that way, right?
Well, you know what? I mean, I am a skeptical news person, so yes, absolutely. It's like I don't trust anybody.
Right. Yeah, right.
I've been reporting too many bad stories for too many years, but I mean, that's, again, it was unfounded. Most people are absolutely fine. We put our lives in the hands of bus drivers, in pilots, let's see what else. I mean, really.
This is different, in my opinion. Because we tell people all the time growing up, hey kids, whatever you do not get in the car of a stranger. Don't do it. Do not get in a stranger's car, unless they're a Lyft driver.
A taxi driver is also a stranger. You don't know anything about the taxi driver.
So anybody's a stranger and you get right down to
it. You're right, Rod. Everyone we don't know. But to me, it's always different because these are the people's personal vehicles. They don't work for a company with like a hub, like a taxi traditionally did. This to me seems a little more random.
But yet you do it.
Yes, I do. Because I'm not listening to my mother anymore, I guess.
Oh, and
I'm still a taxi person.
Really?
I've ridden in Ubers with my wife when we've been out and about, and she set them up. But I've never done it myself. I'll always the few times.
Are you trying to protect the
few
taxi
times
drivers?
that I need a ride, I will call a taxi company. I guess my thing is. And I realize there are likely people that make the Uber or the Lyft probably their full-time job too. But I feel like, generally speaking, the person driving the taxi, it probably is their full-time job, and I want to support that. So I just choose to continue doing the taxi thing.
Yeah, Allison says my husband is a Uber and Lyft driver, and he loves it. He has clients that request him all the time.
Yeah, and Ramona, she's a driver too, been driving for 3 years, and the good rides versus the uncomfortable rides, well, the good rides are far better than the uncomfortable rides, obviously. And then on Instagram, it looks like Photog Lions always had the best experiences, great conversations and tips when in other countries. And somebody else had commented, I thought, on Instagram. It was interesting.
Oh, Jeff in Oregon said,
oh, there it is. Yep.
that in New York, the driver had a camera on the other on the rider as well as the road in front of him. A sign posted saying that he was being videoed.
Which is pretty smart as a driver.
I've noticed it a few times.
Oh, really?
In Ubers. So, I mean, I honestly prefer it.
You know, this is Terrell Davis gives us great comments almost daily on the Facebook feed. Good morning again, Terrell. And she says she was told by, I don't know if it was a Lyft or an Uber driver, but she was told by one of those drivers, if she ever doesn't feel comfortable in one of these cars, the line to use is, hey, I was wrong about where I'm going. I was wrong with the destination. Could you please just drop me off right here? Like if you're ever feeling that you're in an uncomfortable situation with one of your drivers, Uber or Lyft, just tell them, hey, you know what? I screwed up my address here. Could you do me a favor, just drop me off right here? That gets you out of that situation in sort of a less awkward way.
Maybe,
You know, with the taxi thing, I know you're a taxi guy. Terrell says, I've had bad experiences with taxis, unprofessional, unsafe drivers, expensive and late. The thing I like about Ubers and Lyft is that you can see the ratings on the drivers. Like people have weighed in and like given stars to like, you know, if they drive safely, you know, how good of a driver they are. So that gives you a little bit of confidence when you're looking at those. And versus to me, a taxi, I don't know anything about the person and, you know, their track record.
And I do love that you can track the Uber and there's an Uber or a Lyft anywhere at any time. It's like, I need to go somewhere, boom. Oh, there he is 5 minutes away, or she is 5 minutes away. And the expense is what got me on it at first back here.
But they've come up. I don't know if you're correct about that. I thought at first when Uber and Lyft first started, the prices were like, how are they even making money? It was so crazy cheap. But I feel like, in fact, we checked on this once. I can't remember where we were. It was within the last year. And the taxi and because my wife called it Uber, I called the taxi. It was within $1.
Okay.
Oh, that's
It was
really?
the same price.
Interesting.
Well, it always depends on the time of day and the day. There is surge pricing, especially if there's an event.
Well, I think that's
downtown,
what turned me off. It was the surge pricing stories, and I said, okay, I'm not supporting that. And then I've just stayed a taxi.
I think it helps with the rush because so many people are trying to get it.
You take a lot of stands in life.
Well, but the bottom line is I'm not a good person to have this conversation because, I mean, I barely use any of that. Bottom line is if I need to get myself somewhere, I
drive.
I have a car, I rent a car, I I don't know. I just don't do
polluting
that
the
type
environment, are you,
of
Mr. Hill?
transportation. I just don't.
You know, I'm not surprised to hear that you would use a taxi over an Uber because I did read once that 9 out of 10 men who would wear a tie with a short sleeve dress shirt would prefer a taxi over an Uber or Lyft.
Wow, bizarre.
Is that
wow.
a
Well, we're
major
going to bring
faux
back
pas in
horses.
fashion?
I would ride a horse from here to the Trailblazer game if I needed to get there in a hurry.
Can we speak to the short sleeve shirt? It is a little different. I've never seen this look on you, Rod. You said there is a reason behind the look.
I should have gone to the dry cleaners yesterday and pick up. I didn't. There were very few clean shirt options left in the closet. But it's going to be a sunny 80-degree day. This is very comfortable.
But you know what? This still looks very sharp. You have the crease line.
I have the crease.
He has
Thank you.
the crease on,
You're right about
the
the
shirt.
crease.
If your clothes are creased, can't you wear just about anything,
I
Christine?
think you can.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
is
look at it. It's better over
Yeah,
here.
it's right here.
See,
Look at the
there's a
crease.
good crease.
Boom.
right
send your
there.
shirts to the dry cleaners?
I do. Thank you.
You do.
I get them laundered, right? They're not dry cleaned.
I
those shirts.
definitely
Right,
do.
laundered and pressed and starched or whatever.
Because, yeah, it is difficult to get that shirt pressed just the right way.
very
Again,
time consuming.
I have a steamer. The ones that say dry cleaning, sometimes I'll just throw it in the water wash, and then just hang dry it and hope it's okay.
Right. No, I don't do it
and
with
then steam
everything.
it.
But dress shirts, I don't know why I got into that habit, but I do take all the dress shirts that I wear on this show to the dry cleaners. And I like the people, number one, so I'm like, I'm supporting them still.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like it's relatively cheap. I can't even remember what it cost me per shirt.
I think
But
it's maybe
anyways,
$2 now. It used to be even years ago. It was like maybe $1.10. I think it's like
anything dry
$2 on the average dry cleaners now. For
Nope.
Sure.
Women's clothes.
That's why I don't dry clean.
Can I go back to something? You may not be comfortable talking about this. If you're not, please let me know and
I
we'll move on.
I will.
Brenda will
You said
let you
earlier
know.
that you will only do Lyft, not Uber, or you only do Lyft, not Uber. Is there a reason?
I deleted the Uber app a while ago after all the nuttiness.
The bad CEO stories you're talking about?
Just there was I was like, meh.
Okay.
And so, I'm not saying that never, never,
Yeah.
but I have the Lyft app and I just never did download the Uber app again.
Okay.
So on that note, Allison, if you're still watching on our Facebook stream, weigh in because you say my husband only does it Fridays and Saturdays, but he prefers Uber over Lyft. So I wonder why
What's the difference?
Yeah, why does he prefer Uber over Lyft as a driver? I wonder if there's a difference in pay or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, Allison Van Sel, if you're still watching, let us know.
Ramona, who chimes in, is one of the drivers who, and I figure I'm not surprised. I thought when we opened this conversation up, we would hear from people who actually drive for Uber and Lyft.
Yeah,
Ramona
right.
being one of them, and she says drivers like herself can also rate the riders, and if we rate a rider with a low score, they will not get that rider again.
Good.
Which is good. Yeah, you
Oh,
as a rider,
okay.
you're protected.
It goes both ways.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
you
with
get
the
rated
drivers.
too.
you're protected.
They've done a good job, I think, both companies. From what I've seen, I have very limited experience, as I mentioned, but I think they've done a really good job developing their apps to make it easy and to where everybody gets rated, the passenger, the driver. They've made it as convenient as they possibly can. So thumbs up on that.
We all have a Lyft or Uber rating, right? If we use it regularly, don't you all have an?
Probably.
Your rating
I
is?
assume so.
I don't.
I'm a 5-star passenger.
You sure?
Wow.
Oh, you
Five
are?
even, like 5.0 or 4.6.
It's 5.
You're
So
not
is
around
there
that?
been
ever
rated
a
under.
point where your resume
get
is so
on it?
thin that is a paragraph on your resume? I'm a 5-star Uber
I
rider.
know, you could say that.
I don't know what my resume
So-
looks like.
Allison, she responded again. She said that her husband prefers Uber over Lyft, and he's a driver. She says Uber pays more, and from the looks of it, or it looks like of it, people use Uber more. He loves them both. And Terrell says a lot of the Uber drivers do both Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
Chuck says it's cheaper to take Uber and Lyft rather than a taxi because when you get in a cab, it starts at $250 from the start. He says. So I don't know. I don't take cabs, so I really don't know.
But you're arguing that in the end, the bottom line price will be the same, regardless.
Well,
of
I
where
just
they
said the
start.
one time that we checked, the one time, and I was like, well, hold on, let me call the taxi company. It was about the same. I don't remember the city. The ride was about $25 wherever we were going.
Oh, okay.
Either way. But again, I'm a bad example.
Yeah.
I still fend for myself.
Not too many great
If I need a
research
ride, I get a
projects
car.
use one source. This is a great conversation, though. So thank you to everyone chiming in on the Instagram, on the Facebook. Brenda,
Yes, thank
right
you.
now working very fast, very furious to find her Uber rating. Did we
I
say it?
didn't find. No, I
Okay.
didn't. Jess, where is it exactly?
I know just on the Uber, you can go, it's on your, profile.
Oh.
And so it's up on, the left
And it's
corner.
kind of
Right.
a Brenda Jaden situation because she uses it more, but she's on my account.
Oh, I see.
So I should check in on her and see how she's been behaving.
Jeff in Oregon, remember to rate the driver. They can lose their job if they don't get good ratings, apparently. So.
I'm going to get a pen real quick.
Official Le Marie is on your side. Brenda, she prefers Lyft over Uber.
Interesting.
Says Lyft is cheaper.
Hey, let's wrap this up real quickly with one more thing. We were going to bring up a second topic. We never got to it. We're not going to dive deeply into it now, but it was based on an article that Jessica, the producer behind the Instagram camera this morning, pulled for us, a poll that says women and baby boomers, and Brenda, you said you fit both categories, are the best tippers in the U.S. Millennials and men lag behind. So I was curious about our tipping ways. So how about this? You go to the restaurant, right? You go. Here's a little quiz. You each get a piece of paper. You have to write a number on the back, and we're gonna reveal the numbers.
We're writing
Like
one at a time.
percentage? Are we talking percentage-wise?
So here's the deal. Your bill comes to write this down. Oh, we only have one pen. Jeez, this is going to take forever. The bill comes to The bill comes to $76.42. $76.42.
Okay.
What tip are you giving the restaurant for the $76.42? And it was good service.
Everything was great.
It wasn't like over. It was just
wasn't over the top.
good.
It wasn't just good. It was
$76.
no complaints. You didn't notice anything wrong with the
Yeah,
problem.
okay.
20%.
In even 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
20%.
It's like $15 basically.
So you'll give on a $76.42 bill, you're giving an even 15?
I'm giving whatever. I can't do math.
Well, it's
whatever is
15.
20%.
It's 15 like 23. Do you give the 23 cents?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I would be doing the same
And
thing.
I do my math here. I'm like, or I look at my daughter and go, what's 20% of?
I round
crying out
up.
loud.
Typically, I'll round
Do
up.
math on my off time.
I round, never down.
I round up.
Okay, so take the first whole number
Yep.
and double it. And the second number, if it's over 5, go up 1.
Yeah.
But I never leave cents in my tip.
I do.
There's no sense behind that, Brenda.
Well, it's my sense.
Well, there's some people who do the math and try to make it even.
Even, yeah. The people who like to see the even number at the total. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I never figure anything. If that were $76 and it was great, everything was great, depending on how great it was, I'd probably leave a total of 85 or 90 on the table.
Oh, for a second, I was like.
Well, 85 would only, 85 would only
Do
be.
you put cash down on the table?
Sometimes I do. It depends. Yeah.
I never have cash.
I'm still very old-fashioned the way I do a lot of things.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
shocked.
Rod, if your bill came to $76.42
Yeah.
and the service was good and everything was
Yeah.
well, the food was great,
Yeah.
and you left $85, that's only a tip of $10.
I said 85 or 90. What's 90?
Well, why even bring 85 into the equation, Rod? That's like a, what is that?
You're really calling him
13%
out.
tip?
He's calling
I'm giving you a
Rod
hard time.
out.
I'm
That's
sorry.
an
Well,
85 or
men
90
and
problem.
millennials tip
I'm not dropping
poorly.
100. I can
Well,
tell you
people
that
have
on
a whole lot of
$76
money.
bill.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Apparently, millennials don't tip very well, but we're talking about it, and it's probably
But
because not a lot of money. They're not making a whole lot of
Let
money.
me bring this
right?
up.
Yes.
I grew up in the state of Missouri. In Missouri, and there are other states still like this, very unlike Oregon, and I think unlike Washington as well. Waiters, the wait staff, they did not make minimum wage. They made
Right.
a lesser hourly wage.
That's
and
true.
the tip, and this is the way I was educated and brought up, was supposed to make up the difference to minimum wage. Now, fast forward into Oregon, you have people making minimum wage or better, plus the tips. And I admit, there's a point where I'm looking around going, this guy or woman doesn't need to be making $40 an hour. I admit, I think that way. And there's a point where I'm like, I'm not leaving that much.
This
Because
is why we
prices
do
have really
this.
gone up too. And there's a point where it's like, no, I'm not going to leave that. Now, on the flip side, I'm somewhere and it's great. I may leave a 30-40% tip. So I'm really kind of all over the board.
This is why I brought this up. We're going to close it out, but that guy right there has one of the great minds in our newsroom, and it extends far beyond weather. You're always thinking about stuff. You always put great thought into everything you do. I never looked around the restaurant and started going, man, that person does not deserve to make $40. Or anything. I just never thought about it, but I love that you do, Rod Hill.
Oh my gosh.
I do always forget that they actually make minimum wage because I was a server in Oklahoma and I made like $2.13 an hour.
Was it under minimum
which was
wage?
nothing. $2.13 an
But was that
hour.
minimum wage at the time or that was
Oh,
under?
come on. How old do you think Jessica is?
Oklahoma minimum wage was like $1.70. So yeah.
Listen,
I've gotta go
I'm
to
only
a cut-in.
27 years old.
Okay, we gotta wrap it up,
Regular
guys.
under minimum wage.
Oh my gosh.
I did.
Tip those poor people
Yeah.
if they give you good service.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I think it's almost a crime to tip well if the service was horrible. I'll go out of my way to leave not
I
a
still
penny
tip.
sometimes too.
You probably can't hear the music playing, right? You're not listening
He's-
to
I don't have my.
Yeah, Brian started playing the music
It's
about
time
30,
to wrap up,
30 seconds
apparently.
ago. Hey, you guys are great for watching and playing along with us. We'll see you tomorrow on
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.